All right, good morning, good morning. All right, squad up, squad up. What's good? Nate in the building, Ghost and Tori. Guys, can y'all hear me okay? Am I coming through loud and clear? And can you see the screen? All right, awesome. Aimbot 556. One time for the one time. Catching EU. That's really good. Guys, dollar did rise as I expected from yesterday's live. All right. Our EU, well, most of the trades that we took yesterday are in profit. Right, here's AU that we took. We're up 33 pips. Right, we were up even more than that, up to 60, 70 pips. Right, but we're giving a pullback or a retracement, and then we're going to probably get the rest of the drop right now. So news did just come out, and so far it came out lower than expected. All right, so they expected 49, but it came out 48.7 for PMI. All right, and again, this is your purchasing managers index. So anything above 50 indicates industry expansion, but we got below 50, so that indicates industry contraction. All right, which typically isn't a good thing. All right, so those results basically came out not good. All right, if you will. Okay, so the dollar should fall because of that. And it looks like, it's doing that right now at this very moment, just giving us a little bit of a, of a pullback. All right. But just checking on yesterday's trade. So AU, again, I mentioned with up 33 pips. All right. And we're going to get the rest of that drop. So just hang on. All right, guys, if you took this from yesterday and EU, all right, we're up 51 pips. All right. And we're also going to continue to get that drop. So just hang on. GU, man, I wish you guys. It was right here yesterday at the very top of consolidation, and I told you guys, we weren't taking it just because we were in a good amount of trades yesterday. But man, if we took it, there was 200 pips, and from the time that we had the live yesterday, right, 200 pips in 8 hours, guys, on GU. Man, what a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? If you're able to catch it, but like I mentioned, we knew it was at the top of consolidation, and I told you guys, if you were able to spot consolidation and you buy from the low or sell from the high, chances are you're gonna, it's gonna play out pretty good for you. All right, it's not every scenario, but highly enough that you can, you can make something happen. All right. New Zealand dollar. All right. We sold this yesterday and we got up to as far as 65 pips. We're now up 33 pips on this, but guys, we're going to do good. Just hang on. All right. To those dollar CAD we took yesterday also. All right. And again, guys, I'm like a Wendy's combo, right? 4 for 4, right? Just got everything popping, everything rolling from yesterday. And this is how it typically is, if you're with the game. All right. So again, make sure to holler at me, right? Forexwithbain.com. Click on the link for the Discord. All right. And come get jiggy with me. All right. But here it is, dollar CAD. Right. We bought it from this area when it was breaking above, this structure. And I told you guys that, let me just get a little lower real quick. All right, here we go. So, I was explaining to you guys the Asian session manipulation where we took out the high and we may go and take out the low, but we basically went into this demand level and we broke structure, right? So when we broke structure, that's where we bought it, right? Knowing that there was still a possibility for us to come and sweep liquidity behind the low of this Asian session, right? But guess what? That didn't happen, right? And this is why you take your chances, right? So when we got that the break and we bought it, right? It did pull back a little bit, right? So we were in drawdown for a little bit, but then what do you know? Kaboom, shot up, and we're currently up 22 pips and counting. All right, guys. So getting back to a higher time frame, and you can see structures just love elite. Okay, it's getting ready to bounce off of this new high that we broke, right? So we can kind of clean up the charts, all right, for things that no longer concern us. Okay, and this is how you keep things, where you can understand it, right? Now, a lot of people have a lot of things on their chart, right? Millions of indicators, thousands of markups, okay? But hey, if they understand that, cool, right? But if that's not something that you understand, then, let me teach you how to clean things up, all right? Make it look beautiful to where you can truly understand market structure and what it's doing, all right? Hit that like and subscribe button, all right? But dollar CAD still looking good, guys. We got 107 pips to catch, right? So we got some more pushing to do. We should get that throughout the rest of the week. Maybe not today, as news is bad for the dollar. So we may get a little bit more drop. Again, my team knows, right? We just got to break up a high. We just made a new high. So Ghost, Nate, Toria, right? Y'all know we're going to come back to our key point of interest. Okay, most likely. All right. So hitting one of these numbers, right? Filling that fair value gap as well that sits right above demand, getting into this area. And then from here, we start to bounce up and get to our take profit. All right, guys. So please understand that when you understand this cycle, right? Look at where price is. This is where we got in. And this again is going to be the demand area of where we're expecting price to get back to. So this is, a prime example of missing the boat yesterday, okay, by not getting in at this price, and now having the opportunity for that boat or that bus or that train or that whatever to come back to you, all right, come right back to the stop, right, that you missed, all right, for you to get back in. Okay, so again, guys, people cry over, missing out, not knowing that they didn't really miss out, right? They missed the first opportunity, but then the second and third opportunity came, and then that's where they missed out. So at that point, they really missed out because they had 3 opportunities to get in, right? But when you don't know, you don't know, all right? But let me help you know what you need to know, all right? So we can go. Let's get it. So dollar CAD and the majors, we're rocking and rolling, all right? Nothing to really worry about. Dollar JPY. If you guys looked at my weekly watch list, I told you I was bullish, and now I'm up 97 pips, right? And I was up more than that, all right? As you can see, the move pushed up 224, all right? So now because of the pullback in the news with the dollar being negative for a lower PMI, all right, it's brought us down to where we're, down a few pips from that 200, okay? But close enough, all right? And situations like these, guys, you want to go ahead and lock in profits, right? Or just close out the trade completely, however you feel, right? You know that you're going to get a pullback. And once again, we broke a high to the left. We broke another high to the left. So the cycle continues. We're looking for these key areas where price most likely is going to navigate to before it begins to rise again, all right? It's not a guarantee that it's going to get here, but it's pretty decent for you to at least put a buy limit in that area in case it does get there, right? And just aim right here for the top. So when we look at this kind of pending position, guys, we have a risk reward of 1 to 3, almost a 1 to 4. So that's $1,000 risking to lose to make about $3,000 to $4,000 on the win, right? Here it is, 153 pips for 41 pips. That is perfect, for a trade entry, right? We don't have to catch it all the way to the moon, right? To the supply area, right? Even though it may definitely get there, but all we need is zone to zone. And what I mean by that, all right, call it game of zones. But what I mean is that here is a low point, here is a high point, right? We're buying from the low and we're just taking our profit at the high. Everybody asks, where the hell do I take my take profit? Where the hell do I get out? All right, those questions are always answered, right, when you come rock with me, okay? But even now, the answer is if you're buying, you take it to the very previous swing high, the most recent swing high to the left in the past. That's it, right? It doesn't get any complicated than that. Whatever time frame you're on, look left. And if you are at the low, right, and you're trying to see where, when price starts to rise on your buy, where do you need to take your money? Start looking to the left and seeing where you have a high that was created. Wherever that high is, that's where you want to aim to take your profit, right? Sometimes it's a lot of pips, sometimes it's not. But we're not, concerned about the pips particularly, right? We're concerned about, one, making sure we understand what we're doing, right? And then taking advantage of that understanding, right? It can get you 1,000 pips, it can get you 10 pips, right? But it's going to get you pips, okay? So again, rock with me, people. Hit that like and subscribe button for me, okay? So UJ is nice. All the majors, right? Dollar, euro dollar, pound dollar, New Zealand dollar, all good. Dollar CAD and dollar JPY. The last one in the bunch is dollar CHF, but again, it was too choppy, too ugly. So not doing anything with it whatsoever, and I'm glad I did not, because again, it's just not structurally ideal. All right, guys. So let's move over. Take a look at our indices. Oh boy. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me know if you guys are able to view them on US 30. Just give me a yes in the chat box if you can see that I'm currently on US 30 on the charts. Okay, guys, can you see US 30? Just let me know. All right, testing, testing. Can everybody hear me? Okay. All right, cool. So, yeah, we took this bad boy yesterday. Now look at this. This was a falling wedge, all right, that should have risen, okay, but it did not. It fell instead, guys. So that goes to show you that what you know isn't always what it's going to be, okay? So when this happens enough, you guys, start to get educated on why you would take your chance with a particular trade, that kind of, to go in the opposite direction than what you expected to do. Because again, price rose very highly. It left a lot of imbalance, right, to the downside, and liquidity to the downside via this consolidation area, the trend line, right, and the demand area, right, these equal lows, right, plus as well as this swing point. So it created all that when it was going up, and then it changed from going up to down. If you guys can see this high right here, prices never got above it, right? And it started to get lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, right? The highs started getting lower, right? So that kept telling me that I had a selling opportunity. And again, this is no fluff, no bluff, right? I told you guys all of this before it happened, all right? This is not, I'm Houdini, right? But on the charts, okay? So here, pushing, we do expect, or I expect it to push back up to this area that it kind of broke. So we can do it like this. Here's our break, right? And it already did give us that retest of that area that it broke. But because we have imbalance right here, and I'll clean up this wedge, it's no longer needed. Right here is our fair value gap. Okay, right here. And I expect price to get to that fair value gap to the middle, just like that. And then I expect it to continue falling to, pretty much get target take profit, guys. It's 1,000 points or 1,000 points on US 30 that we got into this trade to get. Now, just peep game, okay? Because again, this is just yesterday. That price was right here, all right? And since yesterday, price has already dropped 600 points out of the 1,000 points that we're trying to catch, right? 6,000 points in a day, okay? $600 on a micro, $6,000 on a mini, and then you absolutely guessed it, 60 bands on a standard on US 30. So you guys think that this is a joke, you think it's a game, you think it's a scam, right? I think me and my team can tell you guys differently, all right? So again, if you really are trying to understand this, to be able to catch 600 points on US 30 in less than a day, all right? Being able to make $600 in a day or 6 bands in a day, somebody better come rock with your boy, all right? Forex with Bain, holla at me, hit that like and subscribe button, all right? So US 30, we did our thing. Let's look at SPY. Oh boy, NAS, this is NAS, all right? My team sold it from the top, right? We saw it coming, and look at what we got, all right? This is now 674 points to the downside, all right? Can I get a round of applause, okay? We are making huge moves, all right, on these indices, taking advantage, like taking candy from a baby, guys, all right? Wah, wah, okay? SPY, guys, my team sold it from the top. All right, we caught the drop, 125 points on SPY. I don't really, we're done. Okay, there's nothing else to do right now, right? We got what we need to succeed. We don't need to trade for the rest of the week. Okay, but we are here. We're going to look around, see what we can get down. But this is also another part of the game of understanding when to get up out of there, right? That you have nothing to prove, right? You did all you can do right now, right? Price is nearing this low, right? Of course, it can still drop, but we got what we need, guys. Close your trade, take your profit, close the computer, get off the phone, go enjoy life somehow, some way, okay? But again, we are absolutely rolling from yesterday on indices dropping, as well as the majors dropping, right? As well as the majors rising, right? With the dollar-based pairs accordingly, okay? So that's that, all right? But I will go ahead and take a look around to look for other opportunities. And I do encourage you guys to ask any questions and comments, or ask any questions that you might have about anything that you may not understand, right? Take advantage of this time to get to know something, right, that you may not have known. All right, I'm here for you, right? Please let me know, and I got you. All right, but guys, especially my team, lock in profits. Okay, you don't want some swoop, some quick retracement, right? That takes away all of your lovely profits. All right. I'm telling you, take the house money, right? Be patient. We got 3 days left to still look for opportunities. And there's dollar news every single day, I believe, for the rest of the week. All right. So take the money. All right. So let's look and see what we got. Let's look at these euro pairs since it's about that time. Okay. All right, so euro does look like it has a bit of a buying opportunity here on euro odd, but let me just clean up some things. And once again, as you guys are looking at this markup, what you're basically seeing is how there are supply and demand levels that were drawn, all right, that price is respecting. Okay, again, when you guys get with me and I break this stuff down to show you why, price does what it does, okay, it's going to make all the difference. Okay, but look at how, price gets to these areas and it respects them, you know, like mommy and daddy or something, right? To where it doesn't get below the low, or when it's at resistance, it doesn't get above the high, right? So we have this scenario happen all the time, guys, where we're getting to a demand area and then we're getting a buying opportunity. We're getting to a supply area and then we're getting a selling opportunity, right? Game of zones from support to demand. Support to resistance, resistance to support, demand to supply, supply to demand, right? That's just the way it goes, ping pong, okay? But you got to be able to understand what's really going on in the overall picture of the market or this particular pair in your charts, right? To know how to take advantage of what I just mentioned, right? If you don't understand any of that, then that's what I teach you, okay? But I don't really like what's going on with euro odd. I mean, it is decent. Looking at it for a buying opportunity, we can probably get up to supply for 111 pips. All right, that is angel numbers, and pretty decent take profit. If you would like to take it. Only reason why I'm not taking it is because I'm seeing that it's rejecting this high when it should have went past this high. All right, so again, I'm able to restructure very nicely, and I'm seeing that price is, this is a bit of a high, bit of a low, right? So then we make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? And so see, people will read this little tiny, structure just like I did, like this. They'll go, oh, that's a lower high, that's a lower low, that's a lower high, that's a lower low. But in reality, this whole move is one, right? So you're looking at this. This is it. That's a whole move down. Okay. This is your whole move up. This is your whole move down, right? So it should just really be run, pull back, and then run. All right. So again, looking at it again, right? It's cleaning it up. We should have lower low, lower high, lower low. Now we got again. It looks right. It looks like a new high, right? But if we're going off of what I just illustrated, this is the last high, right? So we actually need to get above that to be bullish. But right, somebody's going to say, well, wait a minute, Bain, I see this high right here, right? It's a level that's acting as a high, and it broke this low right here. All right, let me zoom in so you guys can get this right. All right, here it is, right? I see this high right here, and it broke this low right here. So when price came down to break that low, isn't that a strong high, Bain? Yes, it is. Okay, then if that's a strong high, Bain, and then price respected demand and it pushed up, breaking above that high, doesn't that mean we're potentially going up? Absolutely, yes. That's exactly what that means, right? So we do have what we call a change of character, where price was making downtrend structure, coming into a demand area. Then it pushed up and broke a strong high, which gave us a change of character, which also represents a potential reversal to go bullish. So from down to up, coming from a demand area, breaking a high, all of this is confluence to, sway yourself, convince you more that price is going to rise. The charts tell you guys everything that you need to know. If you don't know how to read it, that's how you're not able to take advantage of that, right? So again, I'm teaching you guys how to read, all right, the charts, how to read Forex, how to read stocks, futures, crypto. It doesn't matter, right? It's all the same in terms of the concept, right? That the vehicle is different, the asset is different. That's about it, all right? The capital you need to succeed, that's all different, but the concept is the same. You guys, let me get you right, and you'll be taking flight on whatever you feel like. All right, that's how it's going. So again, if we did get the change of character, we made the new high, we pull back to a bit of a level of a support level, and then we rose up again. But because when we rose up, we did not break above this high, it's telling me that there's still resistance in this area. Okay, right? So as I'm looking, I see rejection to the left over here. I also see where prices acted as both support and resistance. So this is a very key zone, right? And because we're getting that rejection, I'm reluctant to buy it. Okay, if it was down here, I would buy it, expecting it to get up to this high. And all I really had to do was take profit right to that area. Boom, 80 pips, right? Standard lot, $800, 16 hours. Who makes $800 every 16 hours? Raise your hand. All right. That was easy money if we were down here, right? But now we're at the high. I don't want to buy at the high. You know what I mean? Especially when I'm seeing a massive wick rejecting that area, not getting above it. Guys, you'll learn a lot. All right. Just what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm going to leave EA alone for now. All right. But we'll see what's the cleanest and the meanest, and we'll try to take advantage of that. All right. So here is EuroCAD. Now, EuroCAD looks very good for the drop. All right. So we're going to focus on this for a little bit. I'm just going to clean up some things, but I like this setup very much. Nice consolidation, right? That was here. We swept above the consolidation, right? Getting that liquidity. We pushed up into the supply zone where a fair value gap sat right above it, right? And then we dropped to take out the low or take out liquidity behind consolidation. And now we're just going back to a point of interest because this was a break. All right. So again, team, let me clean things up and let me get this right for you. All right. So I'm gonna get rid of this for right now. It's too far away. We don't need it. Fair value gap. It's taking up a lot. This is our first change to the downside. Here we had another break, but now this is our break where the green line is, and where the low is now here. All right. Here is where we got our break of structure right here. All right. And now our high sits right here. Okay. So now when we clean this up, all right, look at that. Nice and beautiful. Not a whole lot going on. And I can even get rid of consolidation. Right. So all I really have is one box and 3 lines. You see? Clean, simple, and, identifiable, readable. All right. So this was supply when we came down and we started breaking all of these lows to the left, right? We broke this low, right? When we got here. So coming down from this area to break all of these lows to the left is what created this supply area, right? So then we made that low a triple bottom with the consolidation that I just erased. We swept liquidity above it, and then we tapped into supply, and then once we tapped into supply, which is where we would have sold from, we probably did. But here it is. We got 107 pips in a day. Again, guys, please understand what I'm saying to y'all, all right? My team, we catch hundreds of pips, okay? Right? Minimum is probably 50, all right? Just thinking about it, okay? But we do numbers, all right, guys? And if you're having a tough time catching 10, 15, 20, all right, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised, coming over and rocking with the squad, all right? But selling from supply, that's what it'll get you. So now, again, we got a break to the low. That's telling us that price wants to go lower. But then it found a new low. It made a new low after it broke the low. And then it began its pullback. This is the cycle, guys. Clear as day. And just playing out over and over and over again on the charts. If you can spot it, you got them. All right. But if you can't, you got nothing. Okay. But broke the low, made the new low, pull back all the way to another key point of interest. So this supply is already mitigated. So I can take this and now put it where it actually belongs, where it has not been mitigated. Well, it's mitigated now, right? But guys, we got a great selling opportunity right here on EuroCAD, and I will take it. All right, I'm just going to get a little lower. And one other thing that I see, again, I'm looking at this 2 hour, but there's so much about price action that is telling me it's ready to drop. All right, so I'll point out a few things so you guys get the visuals. Here's where we had a trend line, all right, where price was rising, making uptrend structure. We broke that trend line, all right. When we came down, we broke it right here, right? But that wasn't significant enough for us to know that it was going to continue falling, right? We needed it to break this low, because this was a strong low that pushed up with, strength, all right, breaking some highs, right? So we need price to get below that to let us know, okay, there's no longer any strength at this support zone, this demand zone, this level, because the bears were able to push through it, right, and push price lower, right? So that was our first indication of getting ready to sell. We wanted to wait for the pullback to get probably to another key area here, right, before we got the drop. That just didn't happen, right? It doesn't happen all the time. That's why I try to get my team to understand, right? But here are the examples of that, right? To bring what I keep saying to you guys home. It doesn't always happen, right? You're supposed to be able to just know that once price broke lower and gave you that change from up to down, that you want to be looking for your sell opportunities. So at any point in time, when you see that price is low, you don't want to sell it, because we don't sell low. You want to wait to at some point to where you see prices going up, right? Until you see it's going up, you can visually see it. I mean, look at this, guys. You can see this. This is up. You can see this. This is down. It's not hard to tell. It's just hard to wait, right? It's hard to be patient and wait for price to get up there. You're like, damn, it's been 4 days, man. Are you ever going to get up there? I'm trying to make some money right now, man. Forget it. You don't want to get up there? All right, I'm going to sell it right now, since you taking forever. And then what does it do? Goes up, right? And you're like, damn it. Once that happens, you close out because you were in the sell. You didn't want it to go up. So you close out, you're losing money, right? You're getting margin calls, your balance is low. You're like, I can't afford to keep bleeding. So you stop the bleeding, you close the trade. What happens? It tanks. Okay? And I know somebody in there like, whew, how you know what I'm going through? How you know about that? Because I know, right? We all go through it. Everybody going through it, right? That's the name of the game when it comes to the frustration that, new traders have in terms of trading. I got into it. It went against me right away. And then it went right in my direction after I got out. It's like somebody's looking at you. Somebody's messing with you, right? No, that's not it. You don't have patience, okay? You don't understand the cycle, right? You didn't put in any work, right? You didn't test your strategy, right? You didn't get with the game. You didn't ask no questions, right? You didn't really try to figure it out. You just tried to make money. It's a difference, all right? They're not like us, ladies and gents. Okay, we do things differently that allow us to get to it. Okay, and if that's you, all right, or if you want that to be you, like I said, come rock with me. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. ForexWithBain.com. Let's get it in. All right. Okay, link is in the chat. All right, but guys, EuroCAD right now. Just going to go down to the 15-minute. Let's see if we can read the Asian session. All right. See if it lines up. So again, from the higher time frame, I already know that we are down. All right, so I want to be looking for selling opportunities. So I want price to be high, at a high price, and preferably at a nice supply area, which we have right now, guys. So I see a nice little fair value gap right up in here within the supply. And look, we got to that to the T, right? Almost in the middle of it, right? Yeah, in the middle of it, exactly. Guys, I can't waste any more time talking about this. I got to hit that sell button, all right? And stop right above supply, right? Take profit to the very next low when I look left. This is the lowest price got to before it pushed all the way up. So all I'm doing is getting from the high to the low, because that's what it's telling me it wants to do. All right, guys, very, very good setup. 76 pips on EuroCAD. I'm going to drop it now. Let's get into it. All right, this is the first trade of this morning. In case you're just getting in, it is EuroCAD for the sell. All right, 70 some odd pips on the table with a very nice setup for the sell. All right, this is a market sell now, so this is not a pending order. Okay, our entry is 1.60882. Okay, our stop loss is 1.61100. That's 21 pips. Take profit is 1.60147, and that is 73 pips. All right, to the downside. All right, that is a sell. Guys, get into it. All right, EuroCAD looks very, very good. All right. And speaking of EuroCAD, I think PoundCAD is the cousin, brother, or sister. And we need to go see what that is doing. So just give me a moment, guys. All right, so here we go. Going over to PoundCAD. And, oh, all right, my team, we got 273 pips, guys. I don't make this up, okay? We sold it from here where we saw the triple top, right? We sold it when it made that lower high, and it did its dance, gave us a nice drop. We saw a profit, came back up, and then I told everybody we have a position from this area, right? And so we just kind of got away with that. If anybody took it, right, we might have got stopped out, might not have, but regardless, PoundCAD has already given us the drop. So I assume that EuroCAD is absolutely going to be next. And I do believe we can get lower than this low that we're aiming for, about 70 pips. There we go. We are in profit right now on EuroCAD. Make it do what it do. All right, ladies and gents. But because we have this trend line here, and then we have this huge imbalance here, that we have another demand area down here, I believe that we can absolutely get to this area, right, on selling EuroCAD, right? And we'll do the math really quick to see how many pips. 258 pips. Don't tell me that's not possible, because on PoundCAD, we already caught 273, okay? So again, guys, this is just how it goes, and I want you guys to be able to, tap in and take advantage. All right, guys, it is legitimately for real, right? Being able to understand and take advantage of the Forex market. All right, when you know what you need to know. Okay, Euro Pound is getting there to selling opportunity. It's not quite ready yet, so we don't need to wait on it. Euro JPY also getting very close to a selling opportunity, right? We're sweeping liquidity above this consolidation. We got into this fair value gap, so we may just continue to fall right from here, right? And that's still a good selling opportunity. So looking at that, I want to look at the JPY index to see if it looks bullish, all right? Because in this pair, if it is bullish, it'll cause the euro to fall, all right, which is what we want, selling from a high point, all right? So taking a look at the JPY, and woo-wee, man, I told you guys in my weekly watch list that the JPY, I was expecting it to sweep liquidity, right, and tap into demand. It did exactly that. So team, please hear me loud and clear right now. Our J's are back online, all right? JPY index is bullish. We want to be looking for our selling opportunities on these J's, all right? So here it is, AJ, right? We wanted it from here, but now we got it directly from the high, all right? So we didn't take it there, but we definitely are able to take advantage of it now. So I'm just going to clean up the chart, okay? But you guys can already see, how this is looking, all right, to take advantage of on these J's, right? We were waiting on the J's for quite some time. It was a little mixy because JPY the index itself was going sideways, right? And I'll show you again, right? Look at that, all of that going sideways for a bit. And then it finally did what I knew it should have done, which was sweep liquidity, tap into demand. Now we're going to take off to the upside, potentially getting ready to break above this high, or at least get back to this current high, right? This most recent high right here. Either way, a move up that, that significantly on this index will cause us to get, here it is, 100 pips, almost 200 on JPY. CAD JPY, it's already kind of falling, but I don't really like this huge imbalance above it. I kind of feel like it still can go and get that. So I'm not going to be very excited about selling it here, even though I know that it can still drop, okay? But it doesn't look appetizing to me, all right? CHF JPY, it looks better, right? Again, sweeping liquidity above consolidation, tapping into supply, and getting ready to drop. As it rose up, it created these equal lows right around here. So that is liquidity. We have imbalance right here, all right? Got imbalance right in that little gap, right? And then we have a demand area. Plus, we have liquidity sitting behind consolidation that has not got swept, guys. So you can see that when you understand where the money, right, lies, okay, you can not be surprised, all right? That price will drop and go get that, right? And you'll just be a part of it, okay? So Euro JPY, again, anybody notice a theme? Look at the consolidation, the sweep of the high, tap into supply. Here, consolidation, sweep of the high, almost a tap into supply. Okay, not on RJPY. Let's see GJ. All right, same deal. This was consolidation. I just didn't mark it. Right, consolidation here, a sweep of that, tapped into the high, and then it dropped, guys. In the past, was 1 a.m. in the morning. Since 1 a.m., GJ has fell 174 pips, right, in about 12 hours. Ridiculous, guys. Ridiculous. And again, from zone to zone, we would have got in from the high and we would have took our profit somewhere right here at the low. But right here, it just shot straight down from the high and we would have made nothing, almost 200 pips in that move. All right, guys, again, I really hope that you guys are hearing me, okay? Because if you have the faith, okay, and you have the strength to just keep showing up to learn these concepts, right, to put in the practice, right, and keep your risks low, right, when you're taking these opportunities, you're going to see something very magical, very beautiful, okay? But it's only if you don't give up, right, you stay in there, right, and you try to get to it, right? It is here for you guys. Don't let the L's, make you throw it away, all right? Just come back and let's get to it, all right? NZD JPY. So this has the most clean setup out of all the JPYs. And I would love if this was a little higher to fill this imbalance, to take it for the sell. But who knows? We may just, because this is also another little pit stop, if you will, before we broke. So it may just be respecting this supply area and going to make its way down. Either way, guys, I like AJ and NJ for selling opportunities. So again, taking a look at AJ, yeah, this is beautiful, okay? And then taking a look at, let me see, it was EJ. Yeah, so I would take a chance on EJ, AJ, and NJ for the sell. Again, UJ, look, I told you guys that we may come down. This is a good amount of pips as we're already falling, right? 67 to the downside before we possibly get that rise up. But guys, AJ looks really good. NJ looks really good. These are the ones that I'll be taking right now. All right. And then we can, we can go and look for anything else outside of these J's that look good. All right. So New Zealand JPY, selling that right now. Again, there is this imbalance that I am concerned about. So if I really didn't want to have, that affect me, then I would place my stop loss higher, right? But I'll be risking way more than I really want to risk, right? This is 84 pips. I don't want that. I want to be right here behind that wick because it is significant and tattletelling enough for me to, take a position like this, right? And then I'm just aiming simply for the low. right? And there you go, right? So I have another 1 to almost 4 risk to reward, right? Risking 1,000 to make 4,000 roughly, right? Risking 37 pips to make 128. All right, guys, the JPY pairs, they do numbers, all right? But this is a beautiful setup for a selling opportunity, and I'm going to take advantage of that fact, all right? So there is my play on NZD JPY. All right, I'll throw it in the chat in a second, but I want to go to AJ, and I'm going to take the sell as well on AJ. All right, there it is, right there. All right, stop above the wick, TP right here. All right, guys. So let's just get up in there. All right, JPY first. Okay, this is a market sell now. Okay, your entry is going to be 96.516. All right, and that stop loss is going to be 96.938, and that is for 42 pips. Take profit is going to be 94.590. All right, guys, and that is for 192 pips. All right, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button for me. Look at that. We are in profit already on AJ. Man, perfect timing, right? All right, somebody better tell them. All right, and here is the play on NZD JPY. All right, so don't mix them up. Get them right. All right, or you might be disappointed. All right, NZD JPY. There it is. Our entry, all right, is going to be 86.816 is where we got in. All right, this is a market sell now. Okay, there's your entry. Your stop loss is going to be 87.187. All right, and that's 37 pips on the stop loss. Your take profit, guys, is going to be 85.534. Okay, and that is for 128 pips. And whoop, there it is. All right, we got an EuroCat for the sell. We got an AJ for the sell. We got an NJ for the sell, right? And with AJ, we are in profit. NJ, we're close to being in profit. Coming back, looking at EuroCAD, and we're not in profit just yet, but it is a very, very nice setup. All right, guys, so let's see. Yeah, Pound Cat is going to give us another selling opportunity because it definitely wants to fill this imbalance and tap into demand. So we're not sure how far up it's going to go before it drops, but you know, we may be able to catch that at some point, you know, throughout the rest of the week. All right. But let me just scan through. So you're in New Zealand. Oh man, this is going to be another good drop as well. All right. Yeah, this is going to be a tremendous drop. So again, my team has already gotten in from the high. We made our money coming down, but now it's retracing back to the supply area because there was liquidity. All right. There was engineered liquidity right behind this trend line. And it's getting that at the moment. And then it's going to tap into supply probably one more time, which really supply now is really about right here. Okay. So we're probably, yep. And we've already tapped into it. So we may get that drop to continue going down. This is 457 pips to the downside, all right, on Euro New Zealand. But again, guys, selling it from here or here is still a pretty good option because everything about this at the moment is saying that we will have, you know, some sort of drop. All right. But again, the higher you sell it, the better. All right. But if you sell it, you know, a little lower than, you know, where it could possibly go, right? Just know that you're risking a little bit more on your stop loss, right? Doesn't mean you're going to lose the trade. It just means you have more to lose if you happen to lose the trade, all right? So pick your poison, but liquidity hasn't been taken. There's imbalance imbalance to this, you know, up move. There's equal lows here. There's imbalance that it kind of filled here, but demand. So there's so many reasons for it to continue to drop. But, you know, it's just taking its time at the moment. So know that Euro New Zealand has a great selling opportunity on it, and you guys want to put it on your watch list right now to, kind of take advantage of that. All right. Euro dollar. All right. This is pound odd. So again, like I was looking for the buy, but you can see it's still dropping, so we left it alone. All right. Pound CAD, pound CHF. All right. Pound JPY. Again, I still believe we're going to get a pretty decent, fall, but I don't really like how it looks right now, so I'm leaving it alone. All right. Pound New Zealand. Now, this looks good for a potential buying opportunity, but yeah, I just need to see a little more because this is the high that it actually needs to break before it'll be actually considered bullish, right? But this is developing for sure. So just like I was saying with Euro New Zealand, you have his brother or cousin, right? Pound New Zealand, that also has a potential opportunity on it for a buy, but it also may be a sell. So we just got to be careful and see how things play out in this area before we make a decision. All right. But Pound New Zealand should be on the lookout this week as well. All right. There was pound dollar, just doing amazing things. And again, I still believe this is going to drop even more. All right. We're going to fill this imbalance a little deeper, and then we're going to get that drop. All right. So I'll be looking for pound dollar to be higher at some point this week. And once it gets there, that's when I'll be looking to sell it once again to have it get all the way down to this demand area for a good amount of pips. All right. So just, know, guys, we got very clean, very nice structure on GU to take advantage of. All right. And that's what I plan to do. Come back, meet price at the trend line in the area that it broke, preferably a little deeper, right, into this fair value gap. And then it's time to rock and roll for the drop. All right, guys, it's going to give you potentially 350 pips to the downside. All right, so GU, don't sleep on it. All right, New Zealand CAD, don't really like it, but it does look like it's going to rise, giving us a nice morning star. So if you guys are considering this buying opportunity, may be best, especially after sweeping the lows and now getting ready to get to the highs. All right. New Zealand CHF. All right. New Zealand JPY, we got in. New Zealand dollar, we got in from yesterday. Dollar CAD yesterday. Nothing dollar CHF. All right. So this is natural gas. And I'm not going to lie, it looks hella bullish, guys, because we were going down. You can see all of this going down, down, down. But then we started to push up, right? We had to change the character right here, right? We pushed up, made a newer high, and now we're in that demand area. So this really does look good for a buying opportunity right now, all right? And it's tricky now because coming lower, I see a bit of a head and shoulders. All right. But again, it's just engineering liquidity above this demand area. So, man, this is a very, very tough decision. But because I like the change of character from where we were going down to now going up, I would want to go with the buy because we're just beginning in that direction. So this is a position that you want to take like this, right, where you stop right below the demand. And again, just aiming for this high, and that gives you a 1 to 2. So that's really all you need to succeed. But I think this is definitely going to go higher than, right here, preferably, up here or more. All right, guys. So this is a good opportunity on natural gas to take that buying opportunity. All right. And there it is. All right. Just know that natural gas, you can take it, right? I'm not calling it officially here, but I am going to show you the position and take it, right, to show you that this is one that does have a good setup for the buy. All right. Moving over to crude oil. And why does this look like it hit my TP? Oh, that's not the one. There it is. All right. Oh, it got close to my TP. That's why. All right, Tori, if you're still in the building, oil, I got my redemption. Okay, lost about 50,000 times, but hey, it is what it is, right? Victory is mine this time. Okay, and it definitely looks like it's going to continue rising. So I do expect oil to eventually hit my take profit, where I'm going to get 62 to 66. That's 400 pips on oil. All right, so just letting that be. But we are in supply, so I probably just want to take my money right now, right, and just do it like this, right? Bring my stop loss right here, all right, because that's a little bit of a structured area, right? So I'll lock in that amount of money, but I can still let the trade ride out to see how far up it's going to go, all right? But that's oil, still bullish, okay? Man, this copper had a nice setup, but it's taking forever in a lifetime to bust a move, so I'm not going to deal with it at all. But you guys can see this is a buy, okay? This is a absolute buy. But man, it's just crawling, and this has been from the 1st of August. All right, so that's almost a whole month. Yep, 32 days exactly. It hasn't been doing anything, and I didn't like it for that reason. But I know that if we were to get into copper, this is definitely one that has a great opportunity to make you a lot of money, catching it to the upside. All right, so man, I guess it's just time, because really, um, for a month it has to, it has to bust a move like at some point. All right, it's time. All right, so I'm getting into it for the buy. And again, guys, just so you know, this is a very nice setup. All right, copper for the buy. All right, silver. Silver's been doing me wrong. Oh, that's silver CAD, silver euro, All right, silver pounds, silver JPY, silver New Zealand. All right, there's silver dollar. All right, and silver dollar again is disappointed me. It's supposed to give me a drop, but it didn't. And right now, again, it could. Right, we did break the high, make a new high. So if I get lower, right, I can see that we're starting to get a little bit of a drop, but we have not broken this low, which broke this high to make the new high. So we're not really quite there yet, but it is looking pretty promising for a drop. All right, I do see, nice little break of a trend line right here, right, making a new low, respecting that trend line. So honestly, guys, it is kind of worth, taking a very tight position for a sell on silver like this, right? Again, you can aim right here. That is giving you your 1 to 2, but looking left, you see imbalance and you see demand. All right, time and price. I was in a buy since Sunday. Oh, nice, very nice. All right, way to come back and stay strong with it. That was really good. Okay, so here again, guys, is where we see selling opportunity on silver. But please understand, this is unconfirmed that we're actually ready to go down, right? This trend line break and this new low is still a part of the up move, all right? So this is still a higher low that can go and make a higher high, right? This isn't the most ideal sell, but the reason why it's worth, just a shot is because you're selling high, right? After prices really going up pretty high. And now here it's leveling off almost to say that it can't go any higher, right? So when you run into situations like that, you just want to take your chance on selling, all right? Because you could definitely get away with, murder, if you will, with a very tight stop and having a massive risk to reward. This is a 1 to 8, guys. All right, risking 1,000 to make 8,000. That's what this represents. So selling silver, pretty good chance you will, get that to play out in your favor, right? And if it doesn't, well, it was pebbles in the ocean in terms of your stop loss. All right. So let's get back high, and we are at the top of the hour, guys. I just want to again give you guys that opportunity to ask questions. about anything you may be concerned about, you want to know about, or you want to learn, right? To go ahead and throw it in the chat and let me know so I can get you answered. All right. Gold is still rising, and I'll just leave gold alone for now. But this trend line tells me we're eventually going to come and sweep that and get that money. Don't know when yet, but we are at a pretty critical high point at the moment. All right, so we just got to be patient to see if we start getting rejection around this area, and if so, then we will have an opportunity to make almost 200. Wait, what is? Oh no, it's gold CHF. My bad. All right, so let's get to dollar gold. All right, same deal. All right, just about. All right, pushing up super high. Looking at it lower time frame, yeah. So it's not quite ready for the drop, but there is the possibilities of it giving us some sort of drop if the dollar's gonna rise again. All right. But yeah, guys, for the most part, I think this is really good. We got things popping off from yesterday with odd dollar and New Zealand dollar and profit on both of those, as well as dollar CAD. All right, look at that nice rejection. We're pushing back up. Okay, we got into some J's today. Our AJ is down right now, and our NJ is also down at the moment, but our JPY is looking strong. All right, after sweeping liquidity and tapping into demand, and I believe we're going to get that rise. So AJ and NJ should play, right? They should play out how we expect them to. Just got to be patient, and even if we lose it, right, we can't lose our mind, right? You're going to lose trades, guys, right? No matter how good the setup looks, right? It's just how it goes, right? The quicker you can accept that and move on, the better things will be, all right? But no, it's not going to be a everyday thing where you're just taking L's back to back to back to back to back, right? I teach you how to stop getting smacked, okay? So you can win more than you lose, or have your losses be what's that big word? Inconsequential, all right, to your wins, all right. But just know, we gotten into some really good setups, and that EuroCAD, all right, what you doing? We are in profit, ladies and gents, in profit on EuroCAD, right? Dropping, and I expect just to get right down here, nice and easy, okay? But this is very good. EuroCAD is the best setup, honestly, out of everything that we've looked at, the best setup, all right? So take advantage, guys. Please take advantage. NZD-CAD, no, just EuroCAD, all right? But again, guys, that's what I'm waiting on. Gold, that good old drop. So let's just review that really quick, and then we'll wrap it up. But I didn't dive into it, but I will now. All right, so just really trying to look and see. Okay, so we broke high. So gold is clearly at an all-time high right now at 35.14, all right, or 35.11, right? So anybody want to buy gold? It's 35. It's 3,500 an ounce right now, all right, or bar or whatever, all right. So again, breaking that new high, right, or that previous high, making a new high. We need to get to this lower time frame to really see what's kind of going on. But right here on the, I don't know if this, I think this is a 3 minute, so that's not what I wanted. I wanted the 15. All right, so then maybe I do want the 3 minutes. So let me try 5. All right, let me try 1. All right, there it is. All right, that's what I need. So again, guys, that's one thing that you guys got to understand how to do is get to that lower time frame to really see what's going on. Like keep going lower until you can read what you need to read. And this is what I see as I'm looking at this 1 minute time frame, that we are consolidating at this high point. Okay, look at the structure previously before what we got right now. We had clean runs, pullback, runs, pullback, runs, pullback, runs, but now we're going sideways. Okay, so what's up with this area? Right? Why y'all just can't keep going up? Okay, are y'all trying to reverse? Are y'all trying to keep consolidating? like what's going on. All right. Well, you don't really have to guess, right? You just got to wait, right? Price will eventually break out of here, right? Letting you know that, hey, it may potentially want to continue going down. So you'll wait for it to get a little higher. Once again, because we don't really like selling low unless you're just a breakout trader. And that's what you want to do, right? It's your prerogative. But what I would like to see, I would like to see price sweep the high, right? And then start to, come down a little bit, maybe possibly back into this consolidation box. If so, I'll be looking to sell it from here, Nick, right? And I'll be looking to put my stop loss above this high. That way I'm getting in from a high price, right? And I've missed out, they miss me with the liquidity sweep, all right, or the stop loss hunt, right? They did that, took it out from the top of consolidation. So now I know that they want to go and get it from the bottom of consolidation. And on top of that, right, this is the area that we broke, right? Here's a low point over here. So I can simply sell from right here at 35.12, and I'll take my profit right here at 34.95, right? So clearly I can tell that's about 100 points, but let's just see. Yep, $17 move, 170 pips on gold, right? Just ridiculous. But this, seeing gold at the top of this consolidation, I'm enticed to sell it right now, right? You know what I mean? And this is, this is all unconfirmed and what have you. But, history, if you will, has shown me that whenever I sell high and I buy low, right, it kind of works out in my favor, right? You know what I mean? And even if it takes me out, like, look, I would have sold it and it's pushing up and it would have took me out, I would have lost 10 pips, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I wouldn't have broken the bank, right? But look, it's doing exactly what I kind of wanted to do right now, sweeping the high. So really, I can play this a couple of ways, bro. Like I can't get lower than the 1 minute right now. But regardless, what I could do is just set a order to where like it gets below this low, right? Because I'm seeing structure was here. And then I also kind of see, okay, as we pushed up, we broke this high, right? So this means this is the strong low because it was able to push and get above this high as well as this high. So this is the area that I'm very concerned with gold breaking below. All right. So when I put my change of character on there, I'm looking for that to happen. Look at that. Look how it pushed up. It's sweeping, but now we're getting rejection and we're getting dojis and what have you, right? We won't know exactly when this will be over until it shows us that it's over, right? And it's going to show us that it's over by coming back down, breaking below the candle body, breaking below this particular low. At that point, you can be a breakout trader where you sell it now from here, or again, you can wait until it pulls back a little bit more and then sell it from here and go and get your money to this low, maybe this low, maybe this one, right? It'll be your prerogative at that point. But just know that, yeah, that selling opportunity could be on its way, right? If we break below 3,500, all right? So please, make that your magical number to look for that selling opportunity. Did you happen to have any other questions around gold, bro? All right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys getting that coffee, waking up with me, and getting to it. All right, we got some great setups that we're in, and I expect them to play out very nicely. EuroCAD is the one to get it done. All right, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Tell your friends to tell a friend to get on in. All right, forexwithbain.com, and catch y'all on the inside. All right, but it's your boy. I'm out. Peace.